Another day, another new journey. Today's journey, we start with a familiar name. I've heard of the name Rob Zombie before. I don't know where, I don't know how, I don't know what, but I have heard the name Rob Zombie, and that's who we dive into today. Now, because of this, because of my lack of knowledge, and because this is our first reaction, I got to do a little bit of research and find out exactly who Rob Zombie is. So here we go. Rob Zombie, Jesus, starting wrong already. Rob Zombie, born Robert Bartley Cummings, or Bartley. I go Bartley. Bartley Cummings. January 12, 1965, American singer, songwriter, record producer, filmmaker, and actor. Oh, wow. His music and lyrics are notable for their horror and sci-fi themes, and his live shows have been praised for the elaborate shock rock theatricality. He has sold an estimated 15 million albums worldwide. That's pretty good. Initially rose to fame as a founding member and frontman of the heavy metal band White Zombie, with whom he released 4 albums. His first solo effort, the 1996 song Hands of Death, Burn Baby Burn, was written and performed with Alice Cooper, familiar name, who I'm also really excited to react to one day, and was nominated for a Grammy for Best Metal Performance. Okay. His debut solo album, Hillbilly Deluxe, was released in 1998. Okay. It became his third. Okay. His 7th studio album, The Lunar Injection Kool-Aid Eclipse Conspiracy, was released in 2021. So he's still active. Zombie directed the horror film House of a Thousand Corpses in 2000. Though the controversial project was not released until 2003, and has since been described as a cult classic. Okay. He directed a Halloween film, a remake of the classic 1978 horror film. Oh, wow. Okay. And he's still active in directing. His last film, The Munsters, came out in 2022. Oh, wow. Okay. So maybe I've heard of him through his films. And I'm sitting here looking at a picture of him. I don't know. I don't think I've seen him before. But, okay. Genres are industrial metal, heavy metal, hard rock, shock rock, groove metal, alternative metal, new metal. So metal. Heavy metal. Rob Zombie is metal. Gotcha. He's been assigned to Roadrunner, Loud and Proud, Geffen, Zodiac Swan, Nuclear Blast. I've only heard of Geffen. And I feel like I've heard of Loud and Proud before. And I feel like I've heard of Roadrunner records too. But okay. So the song we react to is called Dragula. Not Dracula. Dragula. Never heard it before, to my knowledge. But I'm really excited. A little nervous. They saying horror and sci-fi, and just a little fun fact about me. it depends on the type of horror films. Like a lot of films that get classified as horror films don't really be horror films. But the real horror films, I don't do too well. So I'll try to compose myself, take some deep breaths, and prepare myself for this. But yeah, that just a little fun fact about me. I'm not the biggest horror film fan. So hopefully this doesn't creep me out and shock me too much. But we'll see. Let's get into it. So, not quite Pantera, not quite 9 Inch Nails, not quite, I'm trying to think of all of the heavy metal, sinister based kind of bands that I reacted to. Definitely not in those. It's in the same world, but definitely different. Definitely has its own spin and twist to it. Has a little bit more of a bop to it compared to those. But I don't know why. It sounds like I've heard this in a video game. Like a SmackDown versus Raw or something. And I remember when I reacted to damn it, I'm blanking. But we have found out that a song that I reacted to on here was on SmackDown vs. Raw and True Crime. I got both of those video games right over here. So I wouldn't be surprised if I found out this was in a video game. But I definitely feel, or maybe a real wrestler has used this as a theme song, but this sounds familiar.
I am the pool's ready from the pool. Weekend wants you need nowhere as you bleed. Dead I am the rat, feast upon the cat. Tender is the fur, dying as you burn. Dig through the ditches and burn through the witches and slam in the back of my Dragula. Dig through the ditches
Yeah, and the imagery, the visuals. So definitely not. Well, I can't believe they said sci-fi. Well, maybe this is my first reaction, so maybe he does have other songs that would classify as sci-fi. And yeah, I would classify this as horror. Well, it has horror themes, but it doesn't give me a horror like I wouldn't expect this to be in a horror film. Maybe like a lighthearted horror film, like one of those like mock horror films. Maybe, but I don't know. This kind of sounds like a club type of song. Like this is made for like the turn up. It doesn't give me like a horror feel, but the visuals are crazy. The visuals are crazy, but I do like the vibe of this. I'm just sitting here kind of bobbing with it. I really like this. It's catchy. Dragula. You know, I'm sitting here looking at him. I also want to listen to some Marilyn Manson one day. Another name that I know of in passing, but never really heard any of his music. I would love to hear some Marilyn Manson one day. But I like that. Again, it was catchy. It was really catchy. And through the ditches and burn all the witches and slam in the back of my Dragula. Burn through the witches. I really like that. That was catchy. Now, what does it mean? Find out next on Dragon Ball Z, because I have no idea. Y'all know I usually try to like decipher lyrics in the reaction, but like I feel like it was a multitude of different subjects being thrown around, like how it starts off, you know, jealousy, whatever the quote was at the beginning, and then you mix in the visuals. I just feel like it was a lot of things that were being portrayed that I just couldn't correlate. So let's see. Dragula is a debut solo single, co-written and recorded by Rob Zombie, released in August of 1998 as the lead single from his solo debut album, Hellbilly Deluxe. I've been saying that wrong the whole time. Hellbilly Deluxe. Since its release, it has become Zombie's most recognizable song as a solo artist. Wow, your first song is kind of like your biggest and greatest song. That's crazy. It is also his best-selling song and had sold over 717,000 copies in the U.S. by 2010. The song is based on the drag racer Dragula from the sitcom Monsters. Okay, the audio clip Superstition, Fear, and Jealousy heard at the beginning of the song is a sample of dialogue from the 1960 horror film The City of Dead, also known as Horror Hotel, and is spoken by Christopher Lee. Gotcha, okay. Zombie told Billboard magazine that the title came from the name of Grandpa Munster's dragster Dragula on the Munsters. He goes on to say that it was a classic show with great comic characters. Strangely enough, Dragula was one of the last songs finished for the record. It fell together really fast and worked, but it could just as easily not have been on the record. That's interesting. It achieved heavy rotation on MTV following the huge success of the album. Okay. Got a couple of covers. Wow. Everybody in the band got one name. Rob Zombie was on vocals, Riggs on guitar, Blasco on bass, Tempesta on drums. John Tempesta. Rob Blasco. And Mike Riggs. Okay. Gotcha. Got some additional credits, some engineers and mixing. Very important, but I won't bore y'all with those names. Oh, wow. It didn't hit. Okay, it was on the U.S. bubbling under Hot 100 singles, but it didn't make the Hot 100. It went 44 in the UK. It did good on a bunch of charts, except like the main charts, which I guess is pretty good. It went silver in the UK. It didn't do well. It said it went in 2010. It sold 717,000 copies. So it should be gold, but it doesn't have the gold certification down here. Okay. Well, look, I enjoyed it. Now, I thought it would tell, okay, it does have in popular culture. It was in the Matrix. Oh, a remix version was in the Matrix. And it doesn't say anything about video games or wrestling, so I don't know, but I feel like I've heard, maybe he just has a very similar or familiar voice that you would hear in like a lot of wrestler theme songs, but I feel like I've just heard his voice before. Maybe he has another big song or something, but I feel like I've heard his voice before. But I really enjoyed this. Again, it's a very catchy song. Here, I honestly, y'all know here, I've reacted to everything from every genre, every topic, every subject matter. I don't judge. I try to find the beauty in arts, the artistry and everything. And believe it or not, there's a lot of art. You know something that I'm learning too? For a lot of sinister, dark, quote unquote negative music, they are very artistic. All of them. Like the 9 Inch Nails, Pantera, just all of them. Like, they're very artistic, very creative. You could tell these are people who really live in their minds. And for some people, that's a good thing. For some people, that's a bad thing. For them, it's done productively, because they make music and visuals. I did see at the bottom here that they said, what do they say down here? A school stabbing in Sweden. The perpetrator played Dragula on his phone during the attack. You know what I mean? So I know they try to blame music for a lot of negative things, considering sometimes these people, they listen to these types of music to kind of push them to do certain things. I don't buy that. I don't buy into that. Rob Zombie created a song based on his interests or whatever he wanted to talk about, and he did it. It has nothing to do with this kid who stabbed people in Sweden. Nothing. Has nothing to do with that person. So, but it is dark, it is deep, it is heavy, but I enjoyed it. I can appreciate it. So, shout out to Rob Zombie, and I definitely want to hear more. I'm kind of intrigued to hear more. So, y'all let me know what else from Rob Zombie I need to check out, and I definitely will. All right. But as always, like, comment, and subscribe. I appreciate y'all for watching. Until next time with Rob Zombie. Peace.